Hello everyone, this is Faith from faithsbizacademy.com. In this Canva tutorial, we will be learning how to create a simple digital planner with hyperlinked tabs, all done in Canva. Are you ready? Let's get started. Now we are on Canva's homepage, and in order to get started, we're going to start by clicking Create a Design, the button on the top right-hand corner. Now in this particular lesson, because we're creating a digital planner and it's supposed to be US letter size, but we need to have an added border around it so that we have space to add the hyperlinked tabs. And that is why we're going for the custom size. And I'm just going to add an inch to the typical US letter size. So the width is now going to be in inches, 9.5 by height of 12 inches. Okay, 1 inch bigger than the typical US letter size. So we create a new design. So here, and now you would see on my canvas right here, there's this rulers at the top and on the left hand side. In order to make them appear, you need to go to File and go to Show Rulers and Guides. Okay, so go to File and click on Show Rulers and Guides for that to appear. So now the benefit of having these rulers is that you can click and drag. So what I'm trying to do right here is to set the border of 1/2 inch at the top and at the bottom. Because remember, we have actually sized this canvas to be 1 inch bigger than the US letter size. So click and drag right here. So all the way to the bottom is 12 inches. So we're going to stop at 11.5 inches right here. So I've got a 1/2 inch margin at the top, 1/2 inch margin at the bottom. And here, clicking from the left-hand side ruler, same thing, I'm going to have 1/2 inch margin on the left hand side, click and drag 1/2 inch on the right hand side. So this will be my borders like that. Okay, so now then I'm going to go to elements, and we are going to choose this simple rectangle shape, and this will actually be my US letter size document. So this is how my planner will look like. Okay, so this is the basics of setting up this digital planner that we're going to create. Now I'm going to bring you over to this place called creativefabrica.com. This is actually a retail website where it sells commercial use graphics. Okay, so not to worry, you can actually look for free graphics right here. The top menu on the right hand side, you see the freebie section. You can go for free graphics where you can grab whatever graphics that you want, digital papers, SVG files, cute graphics like this. And for the purpose of creating this digital planner, I have selected this digital paper marble. So these look really lovely. So I've downloaded this. And then I also wanted like a wooden background so that it will look like my digital planner is actually sitting on a wooden table. So because of that, I searched for wood texture here. So this one, I'm actually subscribed to their all access pass. So then I get unlimited access to all the paid fonts, graphics, bundles, everything at a really low price every month. So if you do see Creative Fabrica having like a sale on their all access pass, I think that is a great time to hop on. Okay, so I have also downloaded one of these wooden textures, the digital papers. And then in order to make my digital planner a little bit more realistic, I also need like a spiral binder. So I need to look for graphics that show me this. Look at that. So we've got all these digital binder rings, and I've also downloaded one of them. Okay. So now that we have downloaded the graphics that we need, we're going to head back to Canva. So here on the left-hand side menu, I'm going to go to Uploads to upload the different graphics that I have just downloaded from Creative Fabrica. So going to Uploads and selecting a digital paper that I would want to use as the cover of my digital planner. So these would be really down to what you prefer. So let's have this one. So now I've uploaded the graphics that I have downloaded previously from Creative Fabrica, and they're all available for my access on the left-hand side right now under the Uploads section. So perhaps I'm going to choose this one, a little grayish background just to expand it, and positioning all the way to the back. So that would be like the texture of my table, which my digital planner is on, or rather, a mock-up of my planner is on. And I'm going to have that. And I'm going to go to Elements, and I'm going to find the grid right here. I'm going to choose this grid, and this will be sized according to this frame that I've set up the borders right in the beginning of this video. And then I'm going back to uploads, and I would like to have this particular design as my cover. So that would be my design of the planner cover. Okay, and I have these nice turquoise rings. I'm just going to resize it. Let's just zoom in a little bit more, resize it such that you will see that this rings only have a shadow on the right hand side. So these are single-sided rings, okay, for a single page. So binder rings for a single page right here. And I'm just going to duplicate this, and I want to duplicate the binder ring. Click on this duplicate icon on the top right hand corner, and then shifting it down and going to duplicate again so that I fill up the entire the margin or the width of the height of the digital planner. And for this one, it's a little too long, so I'm just going to click on the crop tool and just crop it out like that. And there we go. So now I have my cover and I have the binder. So let's just click to select the binder rings and distribute them vertically. And it looks like they're all evenly spaced already. And I think it helps to group them. So now this is one long binder like this, binder ring like this. Okay. Now to make things, hang on. Let me just see if the table will look a little bit better with this brown texture instead. Let's position it to the back and bring back my planner cover. Okay, I think it looks better like this. And just cropping this to fit the size again. And making sure I'm positioning it behind. So this is it. This is my planner. Now I want to make things look a little bit more three-dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my elements and this simple rectangle shape. And I'm going to have one that is sized according to my planner cover. Changing it to perhaps a lighter shade of gray. Like this, and positioning it to the back. So what I'm going to do, let me just zoom in. I'm going to use the arrow keys on my keyboard to do some fine adjustments to move it left and right, just so that I can have it peeking slightly outside. Okay, let's just try to move this around. I need to move the gray rectangle, so I'm making sure I'm clicking onto the right one using my arrow keys. See that? So it's picking right outside. So it's really very fine detail, very subtle like this thin border. Okay, and then I'm going to make another duplicate of this, this rectangle. Let's make sure I have selected that. Zooming in to make sure, because these are really small details. So I'm just going to select this, duplicate it, and there we go, positioning it to the back. And same thing, I'm going to use the arrow key to shift this around to create another thickness. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the digital planner look more three-dimensional with some pages, so there's some kind of thickness for the digital planner. So let's just resize this and use the arrow keys to shift things around. And I'm going to choose a lighter shade of gray so that there is different depth for this thickness I'm trying to create, this illusion of this thickness I'm trying to create. So here, just trying to resize this. In fact, I'm going to choose a darker shade of gray because as it goes further back, it should be a little bit darker. I'm going to repeat the process of duplicating it and making the shade of gray a little bit darker, positioning all the way to the back. And same thing, resize or use the arrow keys to shift things around a little bit so it increases the thickness of the papers behind my planner cover. Just adjusting it right like this so that's some kind of depth. And it needs to be very subtle. Okay, so these are just minor details to make your digital planner look a little bit more three-dimensional and more realistic. So I'm quite happy with this. And then right here, I'm clicking on this image at the top. I'm going to edit image and going for shadows and choosing drop shadows. Also adding it to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. And I can adjust the offset like this, maybe not so much. And I can also adjust the transparency or the blurriness of this shadow. And that's it. So this would be basically my cover. So this would be the main layout of my digital planner. Okay, so I like it looking this way, and I'm just going to make a duplicate, and just so that I have like a master copy that I can always come back to. Okay, so now it's just a matter of adding a text, and then maybe just, you know, just picking up a font right here, ungrouping it, and just writing it as my planner. Maybe instead of something so bold, I want something more artistic, maybe some script font. Clicking on this font, this text, you can actually choose the font, so I can type in script, and then there will be lots of different script fonts out for my choosing. And let's just choose this one, and need it to be black, otherwise I can't really see the words. And I'm trying to make sure that it's not all capital letters. So there we go. We've got my planner right here. And I can just resize it. And I can also go to effects and have some shadows for the words. Okay, so I like to, so for very thin script fonts like this, having the shadow effect but reducing the offset will kind of give it a bold effect, even though this is actually, you know, they actually do not have the bold effect right here. So the workaround is actually to use the shadow effect, adjust the offset so that it looks bold. Okay, so I'm going to make a duplicate, and this is going to be like a monthly journal. This is a digital planner with monthly journaling pages. So I'm going to use this as a planner cover. So I'm just going to make duplicates of it and just naming the different months of the year. I'm just duplicating it and just writing out all the months. Okay, so there we go. So we have got the cover, and we've got like planner dividers inside the planner. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to add a new page. I'm just going to make a duplicate of this one again. And this is going to be the page where I've got my lines, the journaling lines. So once again, this one, I can actually just remove this, and I have this blank. I'm going to make this to white. And I'm going to add lines. Very simple, just a simple journal, digital planner with journaling pages. So I'm going to go to elements, selecting line. And here you can choose the color of the line. You can also choose the thickness by putting in the number or adjusting the slider to choose the thickness of your line. You can also have solid lines, dotted lines, or dashed lines. I'm going to go for the solid ones and just adjusting it right like this, shifting it up here. And perhaps I'm going to go for a dark gray instead of a black, so a softer look. And clicking duplicate, adjusting it, and duplicating it again, and just repeating the process, just having them getting duplicated. Okay, so then I'm going to hold down the Shift key to select multiple elements. As I'm clicking the Shift key on my keyboard, it's actually pressed down so that I can select multiple elements, go into position, and I want to distribute them evenly, tidying them up, and now they're all aligned, I can group it. So now I've got this group of lines right like this. Okay, so that is it. Let me this would be my journaling page. Perhaps I don't want the top line, just ungroup it, delete the topmost one, and holding down the Shift key again to select multiple of them. I like to group all these individual elements together just so that it's easier for me to move things around. So group things like this. So this would be the typical journaling page inside my digital planner that I'm creating as I'm showing you. Okay, so now it's a matter of rearranging the things. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to just move this around right here. So we've got a planner cover, we've got the monthly dividers, and we've got the journal pages. Once again, this is a simple digital planner. For you to have all the tips and tricks, you need to actually create a full-fledged planner, digital planner within Canva itself. Okay, so now what we're missing are tabs, planner tabs. So we're coming here, clicking on this, and I need my tabs either on the top or on the right hand side. I'm gonna have a small tab. So let's say just coming back here, I'm going to go to elements, going to lines and shapes. Let's choose a shape for my tab. I could have something like this and just turning it around. I'm going to use this as the edge of the tab, or yeah, so we're going to try with that, shifting it like this, zooming in so you have a better view of it. And here, so this is going to be my tab. And I'm just trying to eyeball things a little because I need to fit all 12 tabs right here. Okay, so let's just shrink things a little bit and trying to see if we can fit 12 right here. So just making, changing the color as well. I'm going to use this color picker and pick off this orange right here. So that would be my tab, and duplicating it just to see if I can fit all 12. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got sufficient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I've got one more. Okay, so now I've got 12 tabs. What I'm going to do is, so now I know that the size of this tab works. Okay, so then I'm just going to delete everything else first. Okay, because I need to add something more to this tab. Okay, so right like this. So we've got the tab here, zooming in. And what I need to do is I need to add a text box right here. This will be, I just need a simple font, ungroup it, delete this, and just putting it as J, changing it to black, maybe something thinner. So just a normal script that is not so fanciful, perhaps this one, and just shrinking it, resizing it so that I name the months on my tab right here. So this could be my tab, and here I can position it backwards. So you see that now it's behind the front cover, but I do want to make the tab a little bit more outstanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this tab, click on this one. You can press Ctrl D on your keyboard to duplicate as well, and changing the color to black, and now positioning it backwards just behind the tab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize it or shift things around so that my tab now has a slight shadow to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional, something like this. Just a subtle shadow like this. I think this is the best that I can do. Yeah, like this. This looks good. So that we have it. So now I have to duplicate this so that I have all the tabs for all 12 months, okay? But what we need to do right here is, this one is actually two different shapes, remember? So I'm going to group this, and then I'm going to duplicate and shift it down like this. And I'm going to keep duplicating it until I get 12. Let's have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I have 12 tabs, and then they need to be evenly spaced out. So I'm just going to click to drag to highlight all of them, trying not to highlight the rest of the stuff, and holding down the Shift key to select this as well. And actually, I'm going to move this slightly lower. The idea is, when I use the position tool to help me spread out the elements, they take this smart algorithm to help you position the stuff, will take the first and the last one, okay? So when I highlight all of these, all these orange tabs that you see, Okay, so then I'm going to go to the ellipse menu, holding down the shift key to select all of them, going to position, going to spread them vertically. So then voila. So you see all of them are now spread out evenly, and it's spread out evenly based on the reference point, the first tab and the last tab. So if I had my last tab really high up, then the spacing between each tab is going to be much smaller. So that's why I shifted the last tab lower onto the page. So now that I have all of them like this, what I need to do is I do need to shift them backwards. So as you see, when I'm clicking and dragging on things, sometimes other elements get highlighted and that frustrates me. So what I can do is the other things that I do not want to be touched or changed, I'm going to select and highlight them. I'm going to go to the ellipse menu and click on the lock key. So now these are locked and they won't be affected as I move things around. So then now I can move things backwards. Right, like this. So now my tabs are all behind, and the next step would be to name the rest of the tabs. So same thing, I'm going to click on duplicate and then rename the months on my tab. Just a letter to represent each month. Right here. Okay, so there we go. We have named all our tabs. And if you're kind of worried that things are a little too skewed to the right-hand side, we can just shift things inwards a little bit as well. But I think I'm going to leave this as it is, okay? So then we're going to go to the grid view. And right here, I would need to make some duplicates. So for example, I want, just for the purpose of this demonstration, you can make as many duplicates or as few as you want. So right here, I'm just going to have like 5 pages for each month. So I've got 5 pages, 5 journaling pages for each month. So I'm going to highlight this, duplicate this. So now I've got 5 highlighted, shifting it down behind February, repeating the process of duplicating 5 pages and shifting it such that I have 5 pages, journaling pages behind every monthly divider. Okay, so this is very quick, just duplicate and drag to shift it, duplicate and drag to shift things around. So there we go. We're almost done. Just a bit more right here for October, duplicate, November, and duplicate the last one for December. So now back to our grid view, you can see that there's 5 pages behind every monthly divider. So now the next step is actually to hyperlink each of these tabs to the monthly divider. So then every time I tap on January, I can go to my journaling pages in January, something like that. So now that I have all the pages arranged in the order that I want, do note that the only time you can start hyperlink your tabs is when all the pages are neatly arranged, because every time you were to add or remove pages or rearrange them, it could affect the hyperlinks in the tabs. So the tabs, the hyperlinking part would probably be the last step of your digital planner creation. Okay, so now that the pages are arranged, I'm happy with this. I'm going to go here. So now let's zoom in and I'm going to hyperlink January. And January would be page 3 right here. January is on page 3. So I'm clicking on this J text box, going to this ellipse menu and this hyperlink. So when you click on that, you see that there are these pages in these documents, right? So that is page 3. So page 3 is January, and I will click on go to page. So now you would also see that then it's helpful if you start naming your pages. So let's just name the pages. So then when I hyperlink the tabs, it's so much easier to find the right page to hyperlink to. Okay, so I'm just going to each page, the planner, the monthly dividers, and labeling each of these months, so then it makes it easier for me to hyperlink them right here. Okay, so now I've got all of them hyperlinked. So now I've named all the monthly dividers, and now I'm going to go back to hyperlinking them, zooming in, clicking on F for February, going to the hyperlink and finding it here. So look at that. It's so much easier to find the right page to link to when you have named each of these pages. And then go to page, and here, March, hyperlink to March. Where's March? Here. So it's just a matter of repeating the process. It becomes very repetitive, but it also means that the steps are actually really very simple. You can even type in the name of the month, so then it becomes easier. Okay, go to the ellipse menu, hyperlink, May, June. So I'm just clicking on the text box, ellipse menu, hyperlink, and typing in the name of the page, selecting the page, and there we go. So once it's underlined, you know that the hyperlink is actually in there. And there we go. So we have hyperlinked the tabs. And just a quick check, if you go to this full screen presentation, when you click on each of these, there you go. There you go. You've got all these tabs. Now, the only thing left to do is that we need the tabs on every single page so that the entire planner becomes fully hyperlinked, right? So click, highlight everything, have all my tabs all together, and I'm going to group them and Control C to copy and Control V to paste and just position it backwards. And that is the process, okay? Pasting and just moving things backwards and repeating the entire process until I have all the pages with the tabs hyperlinked. It is really that easy. It's just a matter of repeating the steps. So this is it. I have basically copied and pasted all the planner tabs on every single page, and now all the pages are hyperlinked. So let's just take a look at it here. So we're presenting and previewing it in full screen. And here, as you click on the tabs, it just brings you to the different pages that we have hyperlinked them to. And if you're just clicking on any other page, then it's just actually moving down the page. But because they're all the same pages, so it's hard to tell. But you can just play around with the tabs and it jumps right to the correct monthly divider that you have set as the hyperlinks. So this is it. This is a digital planner that is done up fully in Canva. And is this sellable? Yeah. And is this easy? I certainly hope that you have found it to be really easy after watching this Canva tutorial. So of course, don't forget to name your product right here. Click on File, click on Save. And when you're ready to download a copy, go to Share. Now there's some changes on the dashboard of Canva. So now instead of a download button, what you're seeing is a share button. And then go to download, and then you will still see the same features over there. Choose your file type, either PDF standard or PDF print. In this particular case, I'm going to choose PDF standard because it then makes sure that the file size is a bit more lightweight. So it makes it easier for my digital planner users to actually download it onto wherever they're going to use the digital planner for, on the iPad, Keynotes, or whatever app they're going to use. So it makes it lightweight, okay? So then click on download, and there your project is complete. So I do hope that you have found this video to be useful. And if you have any questions or any feedback, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will answer them personally. We would very much appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe and follow our channel so that you can receive updates on new tutorials added every week. Once again, this is Faith from faithsbizacademy.com. Thank you so much for your attention, and I will see you around.